type your motion again through this chat box of this Zoom meeting. Thank you.
Okay po, wait lang po.
Again, just a point of order because we are now in the fourth clause. The next time that someone will raise again a concern regarding a certain clause, just make sure we follow what's the current clause that is being presented or discussed. Okay?
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, you are recognized. Kindly introduce your name.
Mr. Lorente po. Mr. Lorente from BCS.
You may now proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to manifest, Madam Chair, or to respond to the an inquiry of our honorable chairperson, student agent, regarding the fourth clause of the resolution. The last sentence, QR code scanner can be downloaded on phones, so anyone, including professor, cars, event organizer, etc., which, and then the including amendment of the Honorable Director General of the UNESCO, to can have access to it. It indicates, Madam Chair, or yeah, it indicates, Madam Chair, that the QR code system can be more accessible, or the data can be accessible to the guards, professor, and event organizer, but it will the scanning still will need the consent of the person or the student upon entry, upon joining events, or upon entry at the establishment. Since you need to present the ID for it to be scanned, so I guess it will not. I think it will not. I think it will sorry, it will not violate data privacy law, since there is the consent from the student is still needed po. However, if the chairperson is still worried about this concern, I would like to suggest that let's not remove the clause in its entirety, since the first sentence, the proposed upgrade to quick response code system can be store more data and can be scanned across multiple scanner application, is necessary, since we are establishing here why such upgrade to QR code system is necessary po. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much for your manifestation, Mr. Llorente. Now, yes, Mr. Aller, you are now recognized. Kindly proceed, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you very much to the Honorable President from the College of Nursing. Yeah, I also would agree, but in the same logic, the professors, if they read this clause, they may tell the students that I should be able to get a hold of your information because this resolution says so. And we can put here that that can be scanned across multiple scanner applications. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the clause. So anyone, including professors, guards, event organizers, upon request, maybe we can add upon request or upon the consent explicitly here in the clause, so that we can argue that we are not giving away our information, or we are not giving away the information of our students, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aller. Now, I'll ask you, would you like to restate again or undo your former motion for the removal of this clause and restate it to this new, according to your new manifestation just now?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you very much. I would like to modify my motion into motion to amend the fourth clause by adding upon request, upon the consent of the students in the last sentence after etc.
Thank you for that. There is a motion to Mr. Aller now modify his resolution or his motion to add a certain phrase after for the last sentence of this fourth clause. Mr. Aller, we request for you again to kindly chat your motion. Thank you so much. Are there any more amendments as to the fourth clause? Hearing none, we proceed to the fifth clause. Whereas the data that can be stored in a QR code system should include the name, student ID, number, contact number, birth date, the birth of place, ID validation, and emergency contact. Okay, there's no number here stated. Anyway, are there any amendments as to this fifth clause? Yes, Mr. Bernal, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we change, I move that we change the birth of place to place of birth.
Thank you for that. There is a motion to change the birth of place to the place of birth. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Now there is, yes, Mr. De Los Reyes, you are now recognized.
I would like to inform lang po na nasend ko na po yung amendment.
Yes, we have acknowledged it already. The chat you sent here, the message you sent. Technical team, again, I would like to reiterate that the amendment for the second clause has now been sent via this chat box. Thank you. Now, are there any more amendments as to this fifth clause? Last call, any amendments for the fifth clause? Hearing none, we proceed to the next clause. Whereas providing personal data when entering establishments has been customary during the COVID-19 pandemic for contact tracing purposes. Educational institutions have also observed this protocol as physical classes are gradually resuming. Are there any amendments as to this clause?
Madam Chair, may be recognized.
Yes, you're recognized.
I think the Buseng CSP representative is seeking recognition, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. De Los Reyes, you are again recognized. Kindly proceed.
Hello, good morning. It's Miss Larson po from Busang CSC.
Sorry, it was a mistake. I thought it was
Okay,
Mr.
thank
De
you
Los
so much.
Reyes because I checked it. Thank you.
Okay, so for the previous clause po, I would like to add ID validation, emergency contact, and pronouns po. Pronouns. Yes. I move to add pronouns in the previous clause. ID validation, emergency contact, and pronouns.
So there is a motion to add the pronouns to the previous clause. But I would just like again to point out, Ms. Larce, okay, that if we are to proceed to the next clause, next time, I may not be able to recognize again the concerns for the previous clauses or the titles. Alright? Point of order. Okay, there is a motion to, again, add the pronouns immediately preceding this emergency contact. Is that Okay. So, are there any manifestation or amendments as to the fourth clause or fifth clause? We go back to the fifth clause. This highlighted paragraph. Okay, hearing none, we proceed to the sixth clause. Whereas accomplishing form for contact tracing causes delays, crowd, and traffic at entrances of buildings. Are there any amendments as to this clause? Again, last call for the amendments for this clause. Yes, Mr. Bernal, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we change delays crowd to delays in crowd, or I rather delayed crowd. I'm not sure.
Okay, Mr. Bernal, please type the exact words for your motion. And thank you for that. So there is a motion to replace delays crowd into the delay in crowd, if I'm not mistaken. We'll just review it later.
I would like to I would like to modify my motion. I will just type. Oh, Madam.
Yes, kindly proceed. Now, while we are waiting, we now move on to the next clause, the seventh. Whereas, in order to promote convenience to our students and cut the delay in registration or attendance at events or classes and contact tracing form, the identification card of students should be upgraded by changing the barcode system to QR code system by the appropriate administration and its appropriate authority. Are there any amendments as to this clause? Again, any amendments as to the seventh clause? Hearing none, we proceed to the next clause. Yes, Mr. Aller, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like to ask the good president of the College of Nursing, how can we promote convenience with regards to the contact tracing form in our university by using this identification card? Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, can I maybe recognize?
Yes, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To answer the question of the Honorable Chairperson, Student Region, the upgrade to QR code promote convenience to our students, and it will cut delays at registration po, since the QR code, the security guard or the event organizers uh, can with consent can have access to the data of the students who will go inside the establishment, Madam Chair.
Thank you
That's
for that, Mr. Llorente.
thank you, Madam Chair.
Is that all?
Madam Chair.
Yes, you're recognized, Mr. Eller.
Yes, Madam Chair. I would just like to manifest that a contact tracing form would obviously indicate the symptoms that the students are experiencing, um, some other information that I think we have not identified as part the the contents of the data to be included inside the QR system. So I think it would provide some convenience, but it would not relieve the actual using of a contact tracing form because the uh, um, the information that we will provide inside the system is not complete for a complete contact tracing form answers. So uh, I would like uh, uh, to to make a suggestion that we include in another clause in this resolution that we will uh, I no I would like to withdraw my motion because we cannot update the QR system for each student and we cannot upgrade it to to identifying and every day the symptoms that the students are experiencing. So I think we cannot use this identification as an alternative for a contact tracing for Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eller. Would you like to please put that into a motion?
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Llorente, you are now recognized. Please proceed.
This is just to answer the concerns of the chairperson. Um, I guess it is. I was there was a um, mistake from my part since I asked the contract tracing form that I was while writing or while writing this resolution, the contract tracing form that was I'm thinking of is not the same to the health declaration form. Um, the two forms are different because in the health declaration form, you will state there, you will state there the if you have exposure to COVID, if you have traveled outside to high risk COVID area, or and then the symptoms that you any symptoms you are having related to COVID. Um, this is the health declaration form, and it is different from the contact tracing form because upon entry at the gates, there is another form that you need to fill up a logbook where you will indicate the information that was mentioned and in the previous clauses, the name, the ad, the the address, and um other such things. And it is actually you have to actually do it in almost buildings that you get into. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Mr. Llorente.
Madam
Uh,
Chair,
yes, you're recognized, Mr. Eller.
thank you very much. I'm sorry we are having a long discussion, but I think it's important. I would just like again to manifest that I think some of the institutions or some places that we go, they already like somehow synchronize the two forms into one. So I don't think in the university it's synchronized yet, but I think for the purpose of convenience, then maybe the university would practice the same. So I'm still having thoughts regarding this, but sige, I would not make a motion po. I would just like to manifest that into this legislative body so that we can think or some legislators may have ideas on the thoughts that I am raising right now. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you po, President Dan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aller. Now, Ms. Larsa is recognized.
Madam Chair, may I have the permission to go to the fifth clause po?
Again, would you like to restate it?
Permission to go back to the fifth clause for the amendment.
Point of order, Ms. Larsa, we are now on the 7th clause. But I can accommodate your question. What is your pleasure, Ms. Larsa?
Would like to amend for the final amendment of the fifth clause.
Again, would you like to please restate it?
Hello. May we have a permission? May I have permission to go back to the fifth clause for the final amendment?
Okay, this is for the last time that I will be accommodating a motion to amend for the previous clauses, okay? Let this be the last time, okay? Kindly go back to the 5th clause, Mr. Technical Team. Again, I would like to remind everyone that while we are discussing the present resolutions, please kindly make sure that you are reading it now or just analyzing it, because since we have already sent you the draft resolutions prior to the meetings, so we assume that during this legislative council meetings, we will now be able to identify the errors and raise it right after or upon the question from the legislative officer if you have amendments. Okay. Now for the 5th clause, is this the 5th clause you are referring to, Ms. Larce?
Yes. Thank you so much. So I move to add sex and gender after the ID and validation po.
Again,
I move to add the phrase sex and gender after the words ID validation.
there is a motion to include the sex and gender. Now, Ms. Larce, you just raised a motion a while ago. Would you like to modify your motion?
I would like to modify my motion to I would like to add sex, gender, and pronouns.
Okay, now the motion of Ms. Larce has been modified and it's changed to the phrase sex and gender. Is that correct?
Sex, gender, and pronouns po.
Sex, gender, and pronouns. Can you see it? Is that correct? The phrase that our technical team
Yes,
thank you
so much.
Okay, thank you so much. So it will be the last time. And please don't make me rap the gable, okay? Point of order. Once we are discussing the current laws, it will be the last time that I will accommodate motion for amendments for the previous clauses. All right, now we go back to the second to the last clause, please. Whereas, in order to promote convenience, I have already read this. Are there any amendments as to this clause? Again, are there any amendments as to this present clause presented? Mr. De Los Reyes, you are now recognized.
One ano po, point of inquiry po to the author, and another is a motion. If he can present po at least a data or statistics about its use or its uh, practice specifically in schools, such as in Legazpi, and also po dito po sa part ng by the appropriate administration and appropriate authority, if pwede pong ma-specify kung ano po yung specific na department na isasuggest po for its upgrading po. So, point of inquiry po.
Thank you for that, Mr. De Los Reyes. Mr. Llorente, would you like to recognize, to respond?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the Lifeline CM President. To answer your questions. The first question being statistics or um, data regarding the how the the upgrade to QR code system promote convenience. There I have no concrete numbers or solid numbers regarding this. However, I would like to give two schools that are practicing or using QR code system now, um, uh, which promoted convenience to their students. Number one being the Cebu Normal University, where they are also using the QR code system, and they use it very um, very efficiently, I may add, since they also use it. They use the QR code system for their registration and then attendance or upon entry at school. Second school being the San University of Santo Tomas de Legazpi. They also use QR code system now which upon entry to their school, uh, it will signify that you enter that establishment, um which I want to also add na uh, this parang system na upon you just scan the QR code, the QR code, and then you will be registered that you entered that that establishment, is that uh, parang it supports the contact the idea or the idea of this or the initiative of this resolution to promote convenience at contact tracing. So you don't need to log in your name just to signify that you entered that establishment. So the QR code, upon scanning of the QR code system, the data will be received by the scanner, and then it will uh, uh, it will present that you have entered that establishment. As to your second question regarding to give a specification uh, of which administration or which authority will be implementing this, um, I actually um, have I think the ICTO. I However, I intend to not only to not exclude the implementation of this upgrade to ICTO. That's why I use the language of appropriate administration and appropriate authority, since I believe that um, the implementation of this upgrade will not only be limited to the ICTO. However, ICTO will be I think the leading agency for this one. However, it is not excluded to them. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Mr. Llorente. Are there any amendments as to this clause? Okay, hearing none, we proceed to the last clause. Now, therefore, be it resolved. Yes, Ms. San Pablo, you are recognized.
Thank you po, Madam Chair. Uh, in regards to this clause, may I move to rephrase the sentence starting from in order to promote convenience up to the last word of authority to the following sentence that I will be sending in that book.
So, kindly, okay. Thank you so much for that, Miss San Pablo. So her motion is now sent here in the chat box of this Zoom meeting. Again, Miss San Pablo, would you like to restate again your or restate your motion? The technical team is requesting it.
Thank you po, Madam Chair. I move to rephrase the fifth, the seventh, if I'm not mistaken, the seventh clause to here. In order to make convenience to our students and cut the delay in registration, class, event attendance, and contact tracing form, the identification card of the students to be upgraded by changing the barcode system to a QR code system by the approving administration and its appropriate authority. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
So there is a motion to replace the second to or third to the last clause. Thank you for that, Ms. San Pablo. Are there any more amendments?
Madam Chair.
Yes, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to add an eighth clause focusing on the scanners naman for this QR code system, because we have yet to put a clause regarding the scanners, whereas the administration should also provide scanners for easy transaction in the mentioned activities on the seventh clause. I'll just send the constructed motion, Madam Chair, in the chat box. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aller. Now, are there any more amendments? Hearing none, we proceed to the last clause. Now, therefore, be it resolved as it is hereby resolved to urge the administration and its appropriate authority to upgrade the identification card of students by changing the barcode system to a QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023. Are there any amendments as to this clause? Again, I repeat, are there any amendments as to this clause? Hearing none, now we proceed to the last clause. Resolved further that the copy of the resolution will be furnished to all concerned offices. Are there any amendments for the last clause of this resolution number 3? Again, last call. Are there any amendments for the last clause? Hearing none. Now, Mr. Llorente, would you like to raise a motion for the adoption of all the amendments?
Yes, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would like to move for the adoption of all. First of all, before the adoption, Madam Chair, I would like for the Secretary General to read all amendments first, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Llorente. Now the Secretary General will be reading it to all of the members here.
Yes,
information pa lang po.
Wait lang po. Nasa meeting pa po.
Hello? Alright. So, hindi pa ako marinig sa isa kong device. So, again, this is the amendment for this resolution. For our first amendment, we have this in our title, a resolution urging the Bicol University Administration to upgrade the student identification card of students by changing the barcode system with a quick response QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023 into a resolution urging the Bicol University Administration to upgrade the student identification card by changing the barcode system with a quick response QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023. Next amendment for our first clause, whereas Republic Act 10931 or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act of 2017 provides free tuition and other school fees to students who are eligible. Other school fees include the entrance fee, which covers the cost of identification cards and student handbooks for new students. Next, amendment for the second clause, we have the Commission on Higher Education CHED, hence an identification card is given to eligible students for this amends to whereas according to Article 4, Section 1, page 24 of the Bicol University Student Handbook, an identification card will be provided by the university. For eligible students of RA 10931 Section 3 states that other school fees refers to fees charges by HEIs and technical vocational institutions, which cover other necessary costs supportive of instructions, specifically the following: library fees, computer fees, laboratory fees, school ID fees, athletic fees, admission fees, development fees, guidance fees, handbook fees, entrance fees, registration fees, medical and dental fees, cultural fees, and other similar or related fees. Therefore, the fees will be charged to Commission on Higher Education or CHED. Next, amendment. Whereas the proposed upgrade to quick response QR code system can store more data and can be scanned across multiple scanner applications. QR code scanner can be downloaded on phones so anyone, including professors, guards, event organizers, etc., amending or changing into whereas the proposed upgrade to quick response QR code system can store more data and can be scanned across multiple scanner applications. QR code scanner can be downloaded on phones, so anyone, including professors, guards, event organizers, etc., upon the consent of the student can have access to it. Next amendment, birth of place, amending into whereas the data that can be stored in a QR code system should include the name, sex, gender, pronoun, student ID number, contact number, birth date, the place of birth, ID validation, and emergency contact. Next amendment, delays crowd, amending into whereas accomplishing form for contact tracing causes delays, crowds, and causes traffic at entrances of building. Next amendment, whereas in order to promote convenience to our students and cut delay in registration or attendance at events or classes and contact tracing form, the identification card of students should be upgraded by changing the barcode system, the QR code system, by the appropriate administration and its appropriate authority into whereas in order to promote convenience to our students and cut the delay in registration, class or events attendance, and contact tracing form, the identification card of the students should be upgraded by changing the barcode system to a QR code system by the appropriate administration and its appropriate authority. Now, therefore, be it resolved as it is hereby resolved to urge the administration and its appropriate authority to upgrade the identification card of students by changing the barcode system to a QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023. Resolved further that the copy of the resolution will be furnished to all concerned officers. So that's all for the amendment of this resolution. Please, Chair.
Thank you so much, Madam Secretary General. So all the amendments have been presented by Ms. Mendones. Now, can you hear any motion to adopt these amendments?
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, you are recognized. Can you proceed?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I proceed with my motion for the adoption of all resolution, I would like to just check po the include chat unifast po in. So thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move for the adoption of all amendments to resolution number 3 series of 2022.
There is a motion for... Okay. Now, are there any more manifestation? Hearing none, we now proceed to the division of the House. Are you ready for the question?
Question.
Now, to those who are in favor for the adoption of all the amendments of the resolution number 3 series of 2022, kindly proceed to the poll of the group chat of the voting members of the assembly. A poll will now be created, and you will be given maximum of 1 minute to cast your votes. A poll will now is now created. You may now cast your votes, and you only have 1 minute to vote. Time is up. Now I will get the results from the secretaries. To those who are in favor, it got 48 votes. Not in favor, 0 votes. And there is no abstain. Therefore, the motion for the adoption of all the amendments for resolution number 3, series of 2022 is hereby carried and approved. Now, congratulations for that. Now, I call again the author to kindly present to us the resolution number 3 for the third and final reading.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Republic of the Philippines, Bicol University, University Student Council Resolution Number 3, Series of 2022, Legazpi City. A resolution urging the Bicol University Administration to upgrade the student identification card by changing the barcode system with a quick response QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023. Whereas Republic Act 10931 or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act of 2017 provides free tuition and other school fees to students who are eligible. Other school fees include the entrance fee, which covers the cost of identification cards and student handbooks for new students. Whereas, according to Articles 4, Section 1, page 24 of the Bicol University Student Handbook, an identification card will be provided by the university. For eligible students of RA 10931, Section 3H states that other school fees refers to fees charged by HTIs and technical vocational institution which covered in the other necessary costs supportive of instruction, specifically the following: library fees, computer fees, laboratory fees, school ID fees, athletic fees, admission fee, development fees, guidance fee, handbook fees, entrance fee, registration fees, medical and dental fees, cultural fees, and other similar or related fees. Therefore, the fee will be charged to Commission on Higher Education, CHED Unipas. Whereas the current the current identification card provided by the university has equipped a barcode system. The barcode system stores less data and can be scanned across multiple scanner applications, whereas the proposed upgrade to quick response QR code system can store more data and can be scanned across multiple scanner applications. QR code scanner can be downloaded on phones so anyone, including professor, guards, event organizer, etc., upon the consent of the student, can have access to them. Whereas the data that can be stored in a QR code system should include the name, sex, gender, pronoun, student ID number, contact number, birth date, the place of birth, ID validation, and emergency contact. Whereas providing personal data when entering establishment has been customary during the COVID-19 pandemic for the contact tracing purposes. Educational institutions have also observed the protocol as physical classes are gradually resuming, whereas the accomplishing of form for contact tracing causes delay, delay, delay crowd, causes delay crowd and causes traffic at entrances of building. Whereas to promote convenience to our student and cut delay in registration, class events, class or events attendance, and contact tracing form, the identification card of the student should be upgraded by changing the barcode system to a QR code system by the appropriate administration and its appropriate authority. Now, therefore, be it resolved as it is hereby resolved to urge the administration and its appropriate authority to upgrade the identification card of students by changing the barcode system to a QR code system starting the academic year 2022 to 2023. Resolve further that the copy of the resolution will be furnished to all concerned offices. Done this 26th day of March 2022 during the Bicol University General Assembly. Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the resolution number 3 series of 2022 for the third and final reading.
So there is a motion for the ratification of resolution number 3, series of 2022. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Second,
Is there
Madam
any
Chair.
manifestation? Hearing none, let's proceed to the division of the House. Are you ready for the question?
Question.
Now, for those who are in favor for the ratification of resolution number 3, series of 2022, kindly proceed to the group chat of the voting members and vote through the poll, and those who are not in favor and who wishes to abstain kindly do the same. You will be given 2 minutes for you to cast your votes. And again, for this ratification motion to ratify, we will need 2/3 of vote from the members present. Ten seconds left. Now I will, time is up. Now I will now get the result. I am now holding the result from the secretaries. Parang hindi pa natin alam. Sorry for that. I just used my vernacular language. Anyway, now for the motion to ratify resolution number 3, series of 2022, the in favor got 51 votes, not in favor 0 votes, and abstain 0 votes. Therefore, the motion for the ratification of resolution number 3, series of 2022, entitled A Resolution Urging the Bicol University Administration to Upgrade the Student Identification Card by changing the barcode system with a quick response or QR code system starting. I would like to request from the technical team to starting the academic year 2022 to 2023, now hereby carried and approved. Congratulations. Now I immediately will due to my personal and important and urgent concerns that I have to attend to, I will now temporarily relinquish my post to our pro tempore, Mr. Sidney Joseph Villanueva. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So I will introduce myself first. I'm Sidney Joseph L. Villanueva, the Director General of the UNESCO Club, elected as your pro tempore, and now with the power vested in me by our presiding officer and Chief Legislative Officer, I will be temporarily serve as your presiding officer for the rest of the resolution cycle this special General Legislative Council meeting. Before I proceed, I would like to inform everyone that my gender pronouns are they and them, and secondary gender pronouns are he and him. So if you wish to address me, please address me with gender-neutral pronouns, or you may just call me Honorable Chair, or just call me Chair, for proper citations and for proper respect of my preferred gender pronouns. And also, If you wish to speak in vernacular language, you may do so. You may no longer need ask permission from the chair. The chair welcomes any form of language as long as you're comfortable. And also the chair would also speak sometimes in vernacular language for ease of communications.
Honorable Chair,
Yes,
may I be recognized?
yes, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Chair. This is just manifestation research. Chair, for the cooperation of all student leaders here and legislators here today. Uh, Mr. Chair, before we proceed to our next agenda, um, may I request a moment, a minute or two for a prayer to our friends and uh, kababayan at in Batangas, where Taal volcano is already at alert level 3. If the president of the Lifetime Campus Ministry can lead the prayer, Mr. Chair. Chair.
Good afternoon po. May I be recognized?
Yes, you're recognized. Please do the honors.
Okay po. Thank you po for the urgent need. So, at this very moment po, may I request everyone to close our eyes and bow our heads and let us go in the presence of the Lord. Dakila naming Diyos na makapangyarihan sa lahat, O God, sa inyo po kami, Lord, patuloy po na nagdedepende po ng aming buhay. At ikaw po, Lord, ang pinagkakatiwalaan namin, Lord, nang may kontrol ng lahat. Ikaw po, Lord, ang soberano naming Diyos, O God, sa inyong kapangyarihan, Panginoon, at sa inyong kapangyarihan na taglay, Panginoon. Lord, by this very moment, O God, we ask for your grace. We ask for your intervention, Panginoon, sa mga kababayan po namin, Lord God, right at this very moment, who is in need of your help, O God. Lord, ikaw po ang magprotekta, Panginoon, sa mga tao po na andun ngayon, Panginoon, and facing, Lord God, ang kaganapan pong ito, Panginoon. And Lord, we abide to you, Lord God. Ikaw po ang patuloy namin na inaasahan, Panginoon. Higit sa lahat po, Panginoon, we ask for comfort sa bawat isa po sa amin na meron pong malapit na kamag-anak o kaibigan po doon po sa lugar po ngayon, Panginoon, na ikaw po, Lord, ang magbigay din po ng assurance sa amin, Panginoon, that everything still works for good. And Lord God, everything is under your purpose, Panginoon. And sana din po, Panginoon, ang ganito pong mga pagkakataon ay mag-draw po sa amin na mas lalo pong mapalapit sa inyo at lumapit po, Lord, sa panalangin, Panginoon, that you are the God who is sovereign and that you are the God who cares for your children, O God. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity upang ilapit po sa inyo ang aming pong mga cares at ang aming pong anxieties and worries. And we also pray, Lord God, sa mga susunod pa po na mga resolutions. May you guide us, may you give us the humbleness, the wisdom, Lord God, that we need in this day, Panginoon. Ikaw din po, Lord, ang mag-guide sa mga magiging susunod pa pong processes namin. Lord, ingatan mo po kaming patuloy, specifically po ang aming mga kababayan, Lord God, na nahaharap ngayon, Panginoon, sa mahirap na sitwasyon. Ito po ang aming dalangin. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And now, let us proceed to the next